We're going to get started. Mayor Stark, you want to say anything before we get our public hearing going? All right, thank you all for clear up any confusion. I know it existed with some of the commissioners today. The site that is going in out on the bypass, I believe it's at the corner of Stanley and the bypass, is outside our planning jurisdiction, but it is a Comcast fiber optic hub. It's not crypto or anything else. It is Comcast, and they're going to be providing fiber. If you remember, they brought a site plan to y'all a while back. That kind of leads into the other thing, our planning area. We no longer have any jurisdiction outside of the city limits. The legislature, it was at 5 miles and it was at 1 mile, and that has been eliminated. I think there'll be some problems down the road for some folks, trying to annex stuff into the city. You say 10 or 20 years ago back, legislature saw fit to do that. I was going to reiterate again, anytime anybody has any ideas or they're looking at property or they're going to bring a business, it is highly, highly important. The only way that we can go forward and y'all can go forward is we have an engineered site plan, an engineering firm that has looked at it. If the site has any flood issues or anything, that it's all signed off on. We go out of our way to help. The sewer will help you. The water will help you. Our city engineer will help you. But I really implore people that it's highly important to have all your ducks in a row and make sure that you have a certified engineer sign off on that. Also, I've had some of the council members and some of the public on the food trucks. There was a provision in there that those food trucks could be looked at again in a year. I guess that is in there. And that may be looked at. There's been 1 or 2 that have not kept their facilities as clean as probably like. I'll bring that up to the council at the next meeting. Like I said, I've had some public and some of the council bring that up to me. It's not been something that's been major to me, but it has been brought to my attention, and we may start looking at that if the council sees fit. But that is in there, that there is one that they have to be looked at every year.
So is that not a code issue? Or?
Well, no, it could be the way when I was made aware of it, I went and looked. It could be brought back for review. Yeah. Code should look at it, and the code didn't like what they saw, they could bring it to y'all and then on to the council. But that is in there. So, all right. That I appreciate. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so we'll start a public hearing. I've got an outline I want to read. My name is Todd Dean. I'm the secretary for the Planning Commission. I'm going to stand in for the chairman, Trey White, who's out with his family this week. The purpose of the public hearing meeting tonight is to obtain citizen comments on the development that are being presented. Before we get started, I'd like to give a brief overview of how we intend for the hearing to follow. First, we'll have the public hearing for the commercial laundry, and then we'll have the public hearing for the site replat on Jansky Lane. First, we'll have the presentation of the development by the applicant. The dialogue between the applicant and the Planning Commission or the public will be minimal, if any. After the applicant's presentation is completed, then we'll open the floor for public comments and concerns. There's a few rules we'd like you to follow on public comment. All speakers, when you come to the microphone, if you could state your name and address so we can confirm that you're a resident of Vilonia. We'd ask that each speaker keep their time to 2 to 3 minutes. Unruly behavior is prohibited. Please be courteous and considerate, like Vilonia always is, with your language and actions. And after the public comment time is completed, we will then offer that an opportunity for any closing remarks or comments. After closing comments, we will adjourn the public hearing meeting. We will then transition, possibly after a short break, into the regularly scheduled Planning Commission meeting. Please note that we'll have the public hearing prior to the Planning Commission meeting, so the Planning Commission can take all comments into consideration. With that being said, it's 7:05, and we'll open the public hearing for the Aim High Coin Laundry on Main Street.
You need the owner to go first?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry.
My name is Steve Wilhite. I live at 245 Maywood in Ward, Arkansas, so I do live out of town. My wife and I own the Aim High Coin Laundry in Cabot. We're wanting to build one here in town. We've become pretty good at it. We got a real nice laundry. In fact, a lot of people in Vilonia Drive to Cabot to use our laundry, and they've asked us for a couple of years to build one over here, and it just finally presented itself that worked out. So that's what we're here to do. We presented a site plan. It's been engineered. We're ready to go. We're fully funded, and we're ready to get started. And I can answer any questions except for some technical engineering. I know that was sent to you guys, but I may not know all those questions.
Okay. Any questions from the council? All right. Thanks, sir.
All right, thank you.
We'll open the floor for any public comment regarding Aim High Coin Laundry.
Guys will come on up.
Just state your name.
Yes, ma'am. Scott Barrier. We'll use 1011 Main Street in Vilonia. Just close on that. I have a bunch of questions about the Aim High, and I don't know if you guys can handle that or if Mr. Steve can do that. A lot of it is as far as the plumbing and how much land is on there. To my understanding, that car wash was on the septic system, and is that correct? Or are you keep asking all my questions?
We can just take your question.
Okay. So the first question is, how much land is this laundromat planned to be on? The second question would be, is it planned on public sewer or on the septic system? And if on the septic system, depending on how much land has it been perked. And I know most car washes are on what's called a closed loop system, where it recirculates the water in there. And that's not a common thing for laundromats. So I was just curious about that and how that's going to affect neighbors and all of that on there. The next thing on my list is the driveway distance. I know right across the street, last year it was planned, someone was wanting to put in a house and they were denied, saying that the driveway was too close. So I was wondering if that took any consideration on here about the distance of the driveway for this planned laundromat and the neighbors and the cross intersections. I know the state had kind of put a big restraint on us here in town with the highway running through town, so I didn't know if that was looked at. My next question was what type of machines, as you know, that I'd submitted my plans back in November, I just didn't quite have everything ready for you guys. So with that, I was really curious on what machines I was planning on going in there. I do know that I have the contract for Alliance Laundry, so those are the top dog machines. So I was just curious what Mr. Steve was doing. Let's see, what other questions? I have a ton of them. My main purpose here is I don't want to see anyone fail. As I said, we were planning on doing this. We had other options as well to put on our property with that. And I don't want to see anybody spend a lot of money. And I know Steve is going to invest a lot of money to do this. And I've mortgaged a house and everything else to get the ball going to where we can afford to do all this. So I don't want to see anyone fail. That is not at all, should not be in anyone's agenda. So that's my purpose up here. I believe that's all the questions I have right now. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other public comment on Aim High Coin Laundry?
Good evening. My name is Hayden Canonis. I live at 971 Main Street. This will be directly next door to Aim High. I've spoken with some neighbors and stuff. We're not opposed to a business going in. We know the car washers run down and it's kind of an eyesore. Me and my wife, we purchased the home right 2 years ago. So we're new to Vilonia. We try to stick to ourselves, stay in our lane. We don't cause no problems. My biggest concern with it, not only like traffic in and out and the crossing and whatnot, but VOCs that are emitted, things like that. If it is on a closed loop for the sewer or whatever, if there's a contamination and light pollution, like at night. We have an infant daughter. She was born 3 months early, premature. So she has a lot of health risks that I have to take into consideration that had we not had a baby that does have a more health risk than normal, I probably wouldn't be here. But we moved to Vilonia for a small town, and we love it. We call this place our home. We have no family here. It's just us. And this reminds us of home. So, sorry, I'm shaking. As long as, I guess my question would be for AMI would be, what machines are they using? Are they going to be over the decibels? What time are they going to be in business during that operating hours? Is it going to run late? If they're commercial, is there going to be room to have truckloads brought in for equipment, for materials, things of that nature? I know that being highly mixed usage is kind of a gray area for everything. And that was a consideration that we took in when we purchased our home. So we kind of knew, that this could be a possibility. But is everything going to be within the limits that it should be? That's set by the council, set by ordinances, and all that stuff. So we just, light pollution, making sure that after it's operating even a year or two, is all of the fumes and everything is still evacuating safe. I think cars for a living, so I know the health concerns when you can get blow by from a breeze. You're standing outside and you can still sometimes smell things. Our filters are bad, and that can go into your lungs, and that can affect you. So there's a lot of health concerns that I think that really should be looked at, considering how close it is for us personally, because our property line is right there, or we're within 30 feet, 40 feet from our closest window to the car wash. So if you guys would just please consider everything and all the health risks, we would really appreciate it.
As far as the big trucks you spoke of, are you talking about deliveries of supplies to the business?
Correct. Yeah.
Can we clarify something real quick?
Yeah.
This isn't the car wash.
It ain't where it's going.
It's going on the spot next to the car wash.
The hardware store.
Well, the hardware
What's
store.
going on with hardware store?
Yeah.
So like I said, I know it's come up a couple times, so I wanted to clarify that. It's
Okay.
not the car wash property.
Because when you Google it, like Google Maps, it shows the car wash.
Right.
Correct. So that's how it seemed like it was going to be right there at the car wash. Car wash is coming down.
That's why I just wanted to address that, because it's not the car wash.
Okay. Well, that's one answer to the question, so that's awesome. And I just appreciate you guys' time. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the city engineer is not here tonight. The only thing that I can answer, the site will set on after reading the engineered plans. Like I said earlier, that's important. It sets on 1.5 acres. It will have sewer that will run down to the sewer line. The water and the runoff, the city engineers looked at it. Everything's good on that. As far as the old car wash, from what I'm understanding, it's going to be torn down and dismantled, and that'll no longer be an issue. So, but everything there will be on city sewer, and it has been ran by the city engineer numerous times.
So, Mr. Mayor, you did say that it is going to be on city sewer?
That's correct.
Okay. The only way it can be on the city sewer,
What's your name, please, sir?
Jim Purvis, Riverwood, South Elizabeth.
Thank you.
The only way it can be on the city sewer is across my property, or across the land that just was up here's property to the trunk line. And I have no interest in putting another sewer line across my property. So I don't want him to spend a lot of money developing something, because I'm not gonna give him an easement across my property, because if I give him an easement across my property, he devalues my property, because I no longer can build over a sewer line. So, and that's been stated 15 years ago when a developer approached my parents and wanted my parents to convince me to let them run a sewer line across to where the store was. And I said no then, and still the answer is no. So unless this man over here gives an easement across his property and Bill Jones gives an easement across his property to the trunk line, that's the only other way he can tie on to sanitary sewer.
There is a 10-foot easement that goes across the Clements when they owned it. There's a 10-foot easement that goes across their property and down through Bill Jones.
So is that easement public record or?
Yes.
Is that at the back of that property, the north or the?
I don't know where the easement's at there. It runs down, goes in there by that pond and then across Bill John's. There is a 10-foot easement.
It's not over
Any other public comment?
I just have a question on the location.
Say your name.
I'm
please.
sorry, Michelle White.
Do you mind to come up to the microphone?
Sorry. Yeah. When you said the location was an old hardware store, is that broken up concrete that used to be a car lot? Most recent. Okay. Thank you.
Any other public comment on Amy Coin Laundry? Okay. Then we will transition to the replat on Jansky Lane. Good evening.
Evening, how are y'all? My name is Jared Fox, and my wife and I own a 3.7 acre tract of land at the corner of Jansky Lane and Main Street. And we've been approached by a neighbor about buying part of it, and so we've got a deal made to purchase for them to purchase 2.45 acres of it. And I'm here tonight to request a lot split and replat to be able to sell them part of that.
Question? We'll open for a public comment. Any public comment on the lot split? Now we will proceed. We will close our public hearing at 7:17. I'll call our Vilonia Planning Committee meeting of May 29th to order at 7:18. We will start with approval of minutes for April. Everyone's had a chance to review them. I'm going to make a motion that we do not read the entire packet of minutes because that'll take forever.
Second.
Motion made, second. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Motion made and approved. The minutes, we've all looked over those. I'll call for a motion to approve the minutes from April business meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Here a second.
I'll second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, so approved. Moving on to old business, Hefner edition. Mr. Hefner? How are you doing? We got a letter back from Trey Foster where y'all worked through everything. Looks like all that's approved. Do you have any questions? Any of the commissioners have any questions or comments? I think based on what Trey Foster stated in here and the way I worked this out, I don't see any issues with anything. Mr. Foster, do you have anything?
I got a couple comments on the plan.
Okay.
Just kind of the same things as last time. Vilonia doesn't have an R1 zoning that needs to be updated.
I can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Same things as last time. Vilonia doesn't have an R1 zoning, just still says that. It just, I think it's mixed residential is the name of it, or no, medium density residential, there you go.
Right.
That just needs to be changed. I mean, that's not a killer or anything, just needs to change it, but sign a copy in. Easement's still aren't labeled, they're still just labeled easement, just whether they're utility or drainage or easement.
Yeah,
I don't know what you want, don't really matter on
I
that.
mean, there'll be easements for where the sewer and the water's running through there, and I think there already are stuff there, yeah.
I got you, that's fine, there's not nothing on there, it's on the same label.
Okay.
And tract A, I just have a question about what's gonna happen, is that part of the subdivision or?
What we talked about is that, it's gonna be access to the, I think there's like 2.25 acres in the back where the pond is.
and that will give it, that's why I took that out, and that's gonna be an easement through there like that. And I've talked to the neighbor next door about buying it, the 2 1/4 acres, but he never got back with me, so that's how we did it like that. And then if he does decide to come and buy it, then I'll be back to replot, do a replot or something like that to put that lot back in there too.
So it's not considered part of the subdivision?
Excuse me now?
It's not really considered part of the
No, it's
subdivision?
not gonna be really considered part of it. It's just gonna, that one lot, we took it out, and it's just gonna be an easement going back to that 2 1/4 acres, so it's not landlocked.
Gotcha. Might not be something to us, I haven't actually looked into it. That might leave lot 7 kind of alienated from the other parts of the subdivision. Don't know if that's gonna be an issue or not, it's kind of pointed out.
Right. Okay.
But that's all I got more to say.
Okay.
That's what he was asking, since it's like a long one.
Just make a motion to approve the correction officer. Yeah.
Corrected zoning.
Corrected zoning.
Is there anything else on there, Patrick, that we need to
Just label
the easements?
So I did see-
Purpose of the easements, is that what,
Yeah,
the purpose
that
of the
was
easement?
front page.
So I see I guess it'd be the east one is labeled drainage. I guess the 15 foot in the front that you're talking about being utility.
I'm sure it's utility, I just don't say.
Yeah, I understand.
Put it right now.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's 2 minor changes we can ask for.
Main color, utility, honestly.
Is it just that one?
There's one on the south as well, on the street.
That one was the south one, so then that's the,
It's in the west, yeah, so south and west lines.
Was there one other thing that you want to change? And the zoning would be medium density residential. Mr. Coker, do you have anything else to add? Mr. Willard? I'll make a motion that we approve approve this with the exception or the requirement that the zoning be relabeled to medium density residential.
Is that not already R1?
We don't technically have an R1.
Oh,
That's why,
okay.
it's like I said, just
It's
a
just a
name.
technicality.
Technicality.
All right.
So I make a motion that we approve and require the zoning to be corrected to medium density residential and require the south and west easements to be labeled drainage and utility easement.
I think that Aaron Robinson, I think he's doing that.
Okay,
Because he sent me something on my phone, I thought y'all already, that he gave that to y'all, but I didn't know.
okay. He may have given it to Mr. Foster.
He did, he gave it to Trey yesterday, the day before.
All right, motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
Second. Mayor Patrick,
Okay.
whichever.
All in favor? Any opposed? No. Okay. Good deal. New business. We'll start with Joe T. Savory Meats, mobile food truck. Is there anyone here with Joe T?
Come on up, sir.
Who would come up, give us your name and, yes, sir.
My name's Joseph Taylor. I live at 169 Big Cliff Road, Conway, Arkansas. What else would you like to know?
Just give us an idea about the area location.
This is supposed to be at 1099 Main Street. It was Poppy's Pig Out, I guess. We're just looking to kind of replace them, I guess.
Okay. What kind of establishment is it?
It's a barbecue food truck.
Okay.
It's mostly a serving truck, with grilling, you know. I'm building a trailer right now to put some grills on. Should be done this week and get it's rain. I should have been done already, but it's rain, you know, kind of slowed me down. And I work, so it's do a little when I can, you know. And I should get that permitted with my truck as soon as I get it done next couple days, really. I was hoping to be set up over there by the 7th of June. Kind of the plan.
You said it's gonna be mostly a serving trailer, you don't
Yeah,
have the kitchen.
I do have, yeah, it is a commercial kitchen. It is,
Okay.
it's little, I'm chubby, it's kind of, there's not a lot of bouncing around room in there, so, most of what we do is, we'll be on grills.
Okay.
I've got stuff going at the house right now. Not in the house, in a permitted grill area. We're permitted with the state
So
already.
it'll all be prepared on site?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what we're trying to get the trailer built so we can do that instead of having to pull it backwards and forwards all the time. We're already set up on Clinton Road all the time when we work. We're open on Fridays and Saturdays now already.
Okay. Will this be a second location or?
No, sir. No, sir. We're hoping to turn this into it'll be part-time till middle of August. I work. My job's shutting down in August, and we want to go from there. You know, we would like to kind of be pre-established as a known spot a little bit before then, you know. Something on.
One quick question. So your health department is for the Clinton Road address. You'll have to have a new health department inspection for the new spot, correct?
Possibly. I would have
Because
probably.
new trailer and everything. I mean,
Yeah, I
don't
was
know the
absolutely.
whole rules.
I've already talked with Cindy. As soon as she left, I talked with Cindy. I had my last inspection about 3 weeks ago, and she already knows. I just got to get with her and have her inspect the trailer to add it to my permit.
Okay.
And
So it's still, that trailer will be inspected by the health department?
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
what I'm.
Who is Cindy?
Cindy Milam, she's the health inspector, my health inspector. So,
She does all the ones in that area.
right, wherever she goes, I don't know. She bounces around, I think, but anyway, yeah, so, that shouldn't be a problem. Whatever, if it's not approved, we'll get fixed, whatever doesn't jive, whatever needs, if a door doesn't work, we can turn it around, that's something we can fix, pretty simple.
So there's a $250 vendor permit that's annually?
Yes, sir.
$50 fee through January each year.
Yes, sir.
City Hall.
You don't plan to have anything built onto the trailer, like, awning, like any type of structure, or anything built on, right?
Well, we had thought about it. We were kind of considering that, or just getting a pop-up canopy. What the plan is if this does all right, 6 to 8 months, we can pay ourselves back what we owe already. Potentially building a bigger one, a little bit bigger one. A little bit of wiggle room in there, and I mean some kind of awning wouldn't hurt down the road, but not. We're not trying to have nothing like that right away, for sure. Maybe just a pop-up canopy, we take up and down as we use it.
We wouldn't be approving any other structure, we would just be approving the trailer.
Yeah. Would the canopy be all right then from like the weekend?
Those are allowed.
Yeah,
It's not a
something.
fixed structure.
Yeah, something don't rain on people. Look miserable day outside. Yeah, so.
Any questions, anybody?
I'll make a motion to approve with approved health inspection and paid fees.
And just so we're upfront, the fees will have to be two separate payments because
Yes, sir.
they're two different areas. And we can collect that now, you can swing by and see Ms. Kelly tomorrow.
I'll just, in the morning, I'll come through in the morning. We gotta pay the, talk with Keith also, so.
Motion's made, do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, y'all, gentlemen.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Y'all have a good evening.
You too. The replat, your thoughts, please. Yeah.
I'll be abstaining from this vote since this is a family member and also the parties are my customer.
Double interest.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll
So,
take notes.
I have one question on this one. Jansky Lane, is it any type of subdivision that would have any covenants or anything that would permit or keep this from happening?
It's 1977 covenants and restrictions that have never been reviewed. So they passed their 30 years for what that's worth. There's nothing in there pertaining to lot splits that I remember. I think it was no mobile homes and no commercial use were the two restrictions in there. There's other lots that have been divided in that Jansky subdivision before too.
Any other questions?
That's what I didn't know, so I was just gonna ask.
And I'll make a motion that we approve the lot split for Jansky Lane. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Stands approved. All right, Aim High Coin Laundry. Dr. Seaborn.
I have to stay in this vote.
Okay. Staying in position two. Okay. We got a letter from Trey Foster, all city requirements have been met. Proposed site plan submitted for this development. Drainage and utilities, just like the mayor stated, have all been addressed a few different times. Any commissioners have any questions? Go back to the barriers. Well, how we can come back up so we can get some questions, please, sir. I'm sure you heard the questions that were asked earlier in the public comment. We broke one of them down, so we can repeat.
Okay, yeah, you might have to repeat some.
Run back through some of those, please, sir. We talked about the septic and the plumbing, and then there's a 10-foot easement for the sewer systems, so that'll be good. So the driveway is gonna be where the old hardware.
Yeah, so there's two driveways, so you have two there, so.
You're gonna reuse
We're gonna
those?
reuse those, yeah.
Type of machines, is that even benefit anything else?
That's not our mission.
I remember the lighting, so all the lighting will be dark sky. I've done this twice, so our stuff in Cabot is right in the middle of town. There's houses on this side, houses on this side, so I know what you have to have. So all the lighting's dark sky.
Down.
Yeah, everything points down, all the things you have to do. Everything's engineered that way, so it's all set up.
Yeah, 'cause this is, I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, the building and everything is subject to our codes that are.
That's right.
And
That's right.
So, and that is part of,
How much land is it for your part
Well,
that you're buying?
We're buying an acre and a half. We're probably only gonna use an acre, so we'll be mowing behind that, but it's an acre and a half what we have.
Time of operation from the 24.
Okay, no, we don't do 24/7, so we generally close, probably here in Vilonia by 9 o'clock. Now, our employees may not be out till 9:30, but we will close at 9 o'clock. And The way that kind of works for us is our machines will shut off at 8:15, so they're like computers. So they'll shut off so nobody can come in and wash. And then the dryers will shut off 30 minutes later. So it shuts everything down where, everybody can get out on time. So you don't have a straggler coming in, starting a machine and delaying everybody getting out.
So we have employees there all the time? Or?
Well, we staff pretty much all the time, but there are gaps. So, like in Cabot, we'll have somebody come in at 9 to 2, and then we'll have a little couple hour gap, and then it's 4 to close or 5 to close or something of that nature. Generally what we run.
So opening hours would be,
So we open at 6 to 9:30. I mean, if you said it that way. By the time, if we close at 9, the employees probably not get out till 9:30. Somewhere in that range.
Is there a noise issue with your facility?
There's no noise. In Cabot, we're right by houses, so the only thing you can hear if you walk behind the building is, the dryers are coming out pipes in the back, so you can hear the dryer venting, but you can't hear that in front of the building or on the side or anything of that nature, so. Any kind of big trucks, after the initial, except for delivery of a couple of Coke machines, we don't have any big trucks that come on the property. So all of our stuff, we bring in ourselves. So we have everything delivered to our house, and any kind of soap or anything we use, we bring it ourselves.
One thing I see here is on the plans, on the site plans, it'd be nice if they knew what county we're in. Y'all look, so White County, this is Baldwin County.
I didn't make that.
Good answer.
But I'll let the engineer know.
So is the plan, I see, so the existing concrete pad, or is that?
Yeah, so what we're gonna do, we'll tear out where the building's gonna go, and we'll redo all that. The parking lot, we're gonna asphalt over
Okay,
that.
so you're gonna lay over, okay.
Yeah, we're
That
we're not gonna leave that open looking stuff there. Dumpster, when we put the dumpster in, we'll break around that, so the dumpster's hid behind the gate, so you won't be able to see that.
Patrick, with your expertise, do you see anything?
No, let's do the thing.
So, the only thing that does bring up is this, with this not showing the easement, is there any way that we can confirm that?
I stepped out and called Miss Clements, and she said that it was filed. I guess that would be at the circuit clerk's office. So I'll try to research that. But it is there. She said if anybody could call her if they saw fit.
Yeah. You talking about that gentleman there?
no, the easement that we're talking about, I was trying to, I didn't.
Oh,
Yeah, it's beside the.
here on the east side of the property,
Yes.
the coalition is here and then the house here. And so across the back of, well, I'm guessing it's across the back of that. I don't know
That's what I
if it's
remember from way back when they had that. But the
because
easement
where
was-
is the sewer currently too? Like where,
the main trunk line runs down that creek on Bill Jones and Mr. Purvis's property.
so at the north of this,
Yes.
north
Yeah.
of this building?
Yes.
It's gonna be like here or back here.
So you're gonna have to cross this gentleman's property then?
My understanding is the easement goes across this, down below on this property. That easement would convey when the Clements sold it.
Right below that pond back there?
Was it a separate easement or did they retain an easement when they deeded the property to the current owners? Do you know if it was a filed separate easement?
It was
to a
filed on the
particular-
property. It'll be, I think it's an 8-inch line, what the engineer told me. So it'll be considered the main sewer line for the city of Vilonia.
So the rest of the property that is behind the car wash, is that now landlocked or no?
No, it's got
There's a road.
It's got driveway 64.
Okay, I didn't know the car wash was part of that other property. Okay, gotcha.
All this is now owned by this
Okay.
same LLC.
Okay, that's what it is now.
And then LLC's gonna sell this 1.5 acres.
Yeah, here.
Yes.
So that driveway next to it, that's the car wash.
Yeah, it goes all the way back.
Gotcha. Like I said, I'm looking at this Onyx map, so. Yeah. That's it. Where's that?
So I guess Trey Foster had looked at the easement back there. Is that, do you know, Mr. Mayor?
He had.
Trade closer.
So he knows where it's at.
That's the only thing I see. That's our plan missing.
I know he came back and had my engineer add the easement from our property that we're buying all the way back. So, I mean, I know he was, I can't speak for him, obviously, but I know he was looking back there, so. Because he had us add that to the drawing.
Oh, I haven't worked on drawing.
He had an updated drawing.
All right, let's see if I can get it. Oh, hang on. So it shows the easement on your property, but that's all it shows.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I don't think we can draw it on anybody else. I know he knew we were going that direction.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. If you don't have
That's what
it,
I think.
how's it a detriment to
You know,
you?
as long as it's on sewer bill here, how do you do it?
And we're not gonna put it on septic, we're not gonna put anything on septic, so that just, it's not gonna
How
happen.
they get there, that's
For the developer, if he doesn't have the sewer easement, he's gonna stop.
yeah, that's something that is right there, or, you know, you'll have to buy it. So,
Are you comfortable with approving it without that?
yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve it, that it's, as long as it's on the sewer, and to get the site plan in the right county.
Mr. Coker makes a motion to approve conditional to the site plan being corrected to Faulkner County, and conditional to them being able to access city sewer via an easement, obtaining an easement, or if one's not already in place.
That's a motion, do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Seems corrected with conditions. Any announcements, Mr. Mayor had done earlier? And we will stand adjourned at 7:46.